Hey everybody, and welcome back to Bigfoot Cooking, where today we are making some nanner pudding, or banana pudding if you ain't from around here. But we're gonna make us up a big old batch of nanner pudding. We're also gonna make everything from scratch. That's right, no boxes here. Not even the vanilla wafers if you get fancy, but the Nilla wafers if you go with a trademark name. We're gonna do them things up right today. Now, to begin this process, we're gonna start out with the cookie side, which is just a stick of butter, and of course, we're gonna use Kerrygold around here. Maybe they'll sponsor me one day. We're gonna use a stick of butter, half a cup of sugar, one regular chicken egg, about a tablespoon and a half of vanilla, because you gotta have the vanilla flavor, otherwise you wouldn't have vanilla wafers, right? A cup and a third of flour, and a teaspoon of baking powder. Gotta get that rise in them cookies. And then for the banana pudding itself, that's right. Actually, you could even use this just as vanilla pudding if you wanted to make just the regular stuff, but you know, this is banana pudding, come on. We're gonna use 2 duck eggs. We're really only gonna use the yolk out of them. But if you didn't have duck eggs, you could use 3 chicken eggs, because again, just the yolk's all we need. We have a half a cup of sugar. We have 3 tablespoons of cornstarch, a 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt. Now, if you're gonna use regular table salt, you can use a little bit less, but it's basically a big fat pinch of salt. Half a cup of cream, 1.5 cups of regular milk. I don't know if you can use almond milk in this. I don't think I really wanna try. You want that good old red top, full flavor milk for this guy. 2 tablespoons of butter, and a tablespoon of vanilla. All this together is gonna make us something great once we, of course, get the bananas in the equation as well. Now, in this recipe, you don't want to use the green bananas because they're a little bit too firm, but you don't want to use the complete mush bananas either. So once they turn nice and yellow, oh, you are ready to go. So all this together, let's get us some nanner pudding going on. Let me get started by making up some cookies. That's right, it's time for some vanilla wafers. Ooh, this is gonna be good. All right, now let's get this party started by getting the stick of butter into the mixer. And you could hand mix this if you want to, but well, we've got the modern convenience of modern society. Why not, right? We'll drop in our stick of butter that I let out sit just a little too long. It's nice and soft. And from there, you're gonna take your half a cup of sugar, set it in here as well. And then, well, you mix this up until it's fully incorporated. Just let her spin. All right, and there you have some of the sweetest butter you'll ever find. Speaking of sweet, I got a sweet little competition for you guys. That's right, little Bigfoot stickers. Look, I'm a small channel. This is the only thing I can afford to do a giveaway on, okay? But what we're doing, we're giving away 10 of these guys. 8 of them we're gonna do randomly. To do the randomly, all you have to do is subscribe and drop me an email at hairball@bigfootcooking.com and let me know, hey, I've subscribed, or hey, I want a sticker, or just something along those lines. And when I get up to 750 subscribers, I'm gonna randomly pick 8 of you guys, and I'll contact you and let you know, hey, you want a sticker. Let me know where you want me to send it. Now, the other 2, one of them, you get an automatic win if you are the 750th subscriber. Hit the subscribe, send me a screenshot, and say, hey, I got it, no problem, one's on to you. And then the last one, send me something in the email that's just like something cool, something random, something wild. The one that I find the neatest, and yes, this is just a personal thing, the one that I find the coolest, I'm gonna send you a sticker. So that's how you can get a free Bigfoot sticker with absolutely no charge, and you won't even get a $10.99 come tax time. We got this guy mixed up. Let's drop in an egg. Let's see, we'll do a little cracky crack. I'm always afraid to direct drop them in there because usually, you know, that's when the shell falls in. But when you do like this, oh, it works out perfectly. We'll just put this guy on low and pour him in. Loop. Now, I will say that is an absolute fresh egg too, because I literally walked right outside. It was still warm and I went, ooh, this is the one. Came in and dropped it in here. The other thing about this, as the ingredients go, you're gonna mix each one in until it's fully set and then add the next one. We got sweet buttery eggs. Now let's add a little vanilla to it. And then time for the flour. And for our last trick of the day, the tablespoon of baking powder. Now make sure as this process is going, you at least once take and scrape down the bowl. That way you know everything is incorporated and you're not dealing with, well, with a lump of something that wouldn't taste as good. When this got started, we set our oven at 350. By the time this gets mixed up good and well and gets put on the cookie sheet, oven should be just about right. You know, timing is everything when you're cooking. And from here, you should have a pretty decent looking dough. Now, obviously you're not gonna make a cookie this big out of it. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna pull it down until we get little lumps of this that are, I guess, the size of a little Hershey's Kiss or a quarter size, or I don't know what other currency would work, but little bitty lumps of dough so that way they cook up into the right size for the vanilla wafers. We'll just get us up a little scoop and set it right here. Now, depending on how dirty you want to get your hands, well, you can just grab a hold of this and pull it out, but I'm trying to stay a little bit clean here. So we're just going to set these. We're going to do about 3 in each row here, because as you cook them, they'll melt down and spread out and get into that little circular cookie shape. And well, we're trying to keep them from touching. Not that we don't want them to like each other, but it just cooks better that way. All right, we'll set these in the oven at about 12 on a tray. And like I say, we'll cook them for roughly 10 minutes. Depending on the oven temp, you may have to go up to 15. That first batch of cookies is always your trial and error. You put these in here and see what happens, right? Now, if you're really picky, you can come back, because this is a decent dough. You can kind of pull things together. I mean, really, if you wanted to, you could pick them up and roll them into the perfect little ball if you like. Depends on how OCD you are with your cookies. I mean, they're gonna taste the same, but presentation is important. Okay, so maybe I am a little OCD, but they're ready for the oven. So let's go ahead and slide these guys in and let them bake in the warm hot box for about 10 minutes. All right, the first batch came out perfect. Now, when you get them out, let them sit here for about a minute and cool before you even take them off of your parchment paper. Because when they're fresh, they are super soft and they got that ooey gooey going on, and they are really tough to get up. They'll actually fall apart doing it. So it's been about a minute on these. We should be able just to hop under, scoop them up, and put them on a cooling rack, just like so. Now you see, we made them into those little Hershey Kiss sizes, and you see how big they are. They are not quite the itty bitty store-bought size. If you want those, you make them a little bit smaller. If you want to make these into like cookies, well, you make them bigger. So that's batch 1. Let me get batch 2 and 3 going. And that, everybody, is how you make yourself a tray of vanilla wafers. Now, I'd love to split one open for you, but I'm gonna need them for the banana pudding. But I can tell you this, they're nice, they're crunchy, they're solid. That is exactly what you want in a vanilla wafer. So now, let's get on to the pudding. Oh yes, the vanilla pudding. All right, stop. Custard time. That's right. We are now gonna make up our custard. Now, we're gonna do this all in one big pot. We're gonna make sure you use a thick, big, heavy pot. This way, because you're gonna have this on flame for a while, you don't want the milks to curdle at the bottom of the bowl or burn, or you just don't wanna mess this up. So to begin this, we're gonna mix the dry ingredients in here first. We're gonna dump in our sugar, our cornstarch, and our itty bitty pinch of salt. Now you want to mix all this together so that way all the sugar's coated with the cornstarch and the salt is mixed in and everything. You can do this in a smaller bowl if you want, but by doing it all in one bowl like this, it's less mess. Now that all our dry stuff is mixed up, mixed in, and ready to go, we're gonna pour in our cream and get it a-mixing. Oh, that didn't take long to get a little bit thick, now did it? We're gonna add in our milk. I know this is kind of hard to see because it's a white pan and we're adding white ingredients, but trust me, you're gonna want to use the higher, the taller pot, because sometimes when you're doing this, things can start to boil before you know it, and let's face it, you don't want to make a mess while you're making your pudding. All right, now we're gonna take our 2 duck yolks or 3 chicken yolks, depending on which way you want to go, and we will just plop, plop. Go ahead and bust them boys up and Get them mixed in nicely. Pretty much before the flame hits any of this, you're gonna have all of it mixed and ready to go. Now that everybody is liquefied, we're gonna go ahead and light our fire. And we are gonna put this guy on medium, or if you really wanna take your time, medium low. You don't wanna put this on high. It's not a race. You're not trying to finish this quick. If you're in a hurry, this ain't the recipe, because you're gonna be sitting here stirring for a minimum of 10, 15 minutes, but really no more than 30. It's kind of a good workout, you know? So part of the reason you want to stir this so much during the process is because as you're going, you can actually cook what's against the side of the pans and start to scald it. And then you've messed the whole thing up. You got to start over. So as you go, just stir, and we're looking for this just to start to bubble. Again, I've got this on medium. We're going to take our time. We're going to get there, but it's going to take a little while. Now let me clarify one little something. This isn't like you're making eggs where you're doing the fast whisk. You just want to keep this moving in here so that it doesn't sit still. So that's kind of important, because if you're sitting here going fast this whole time, Lord, you're gonna have a meringue this high by the time you're done. All right, we've got this where, as you see, it's thickened up some, and believe me, it changed from liquid to a pudding, boom, just like that. Now that we've got these plop boils, you know, the kind where you just hear them bloop, 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 we're gonna stir it for another minute, and then we take it off the heat. All right, we've got a minute worth of done. We're gonna cut this off. Now you can't stop stirring yet, because again, this heavy metal pot, while it does a good job at keeping one spot from scalding, it holds that heat, and it's still cooking even though the gas is off. But now is the time to take our butter and drop it in. Well, come on. There we go. Get him melted and stirred in and everything. Now that the butter is done like Houdini and vanished, it is time for the vanilla. Ooh, that's right. Favorite flavor in the world right there. Now you can't put the vanilla in first, as much as I'd like to make things simple, because it changes the cooking process. So you have to wait to the end for the good flavor. All right, now from here, I'm gonna transfer it into this bowl so it can cool off a little bit. And once that happens, it's time to start mixing and making and getting this here banana pudding good to go. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look at that right there. Look at the goodness. Hot nanner pudding or cold nanner pudding? Which one is your favorite? Let me know. We're just gonna pour this right in. Ooh, look at that. Now, if you notice that you've got a lot of lumps, or you're just concerned about the lumps, you can actually run this through a sieve, and that way you get all the little pieces out, but this is looking pretty good like it is. And here we have us a bowl of banana pudding. Now I'm gonna take this right here and cover it with a little piece of saran wrap, just so that way, well, if you don't, what happens, the top dries up and it forms like this skin on it. Doesn't hurt anything, and some people actually like that little thick layer on it, but because I'm using this in banana pudding, I don't want that right now. So let me cover it, let it calm down a little bit, cool off some, and then we'll start making the banana pudding. Ooh, the banana pudding. Our pudding has cooled down, and I may or may not have almost stuck my whole face in the bowl to lick it. It is so freaking good. Let's go ahead and set up our banana pudding pie pan here. I mean, who says you have to use a square pan when you're making a banana pudding? There's really no law in the books for it, right? So we're gonna take our cookies, and we're just gonna put a nice layer here in the bottom. And then, banana time. We're gonna take and peel our banana, because I don't know, would you want to make one with a peel on it? I don't think it would have the same flavor, and Mario would get really perturbed if you take his banana skins. So let's slice this guy up, and we're just gonna literally let the chips fall where they may. I don't think that's enough bananas. Let's go ahead and add a little more to it. I mean, it is banana pudding, right? All right, another half a banana's good. We'll come back to that. Now, let's take us and line the edges with some cookies. The big question is, for presentation, do you want the brown side out or the light side out? I mean, again, this is your dessert. I'm just showing you a way, not the way. Our bowl is set up. Let's go ahead and peel back the curtain here. Let's see what we got. Whoop, not a bit stuck to it. That's kind of fancy right there. Now we're gonna take and scoop our banana pudding right on top of here. Ooh. If I can do this without wasting, because Lord knows, we don't want to waste none of this goodness. Come on out. See, if you did this when it was straight hot, it does run a little bit better, but I don't know. Sometimes you can get the bananas a little brown. It almost kind of cooks them if the pudding's too hot. I mean, either way works. This one just requires a little more convincing to it. Now for the next question. How do you top your banana pudding? For me, I've just got some more cookies, including this big boy. And we're just gonna set it right on top of here. And we are gonna have us some nanner pudding here in a little bit. But now, if you want to, make a meringue or make a different kind of topping for it, or even Cool Whip if you wanted to, go for it. The whites that you save from the eggs, well, that's how you make a meringue. You just whip it, add a little powdered sugar to it, put it on, set it in the oven, and put a little bit of broil to it. And lo and behold, you have yourself a meringue. Well, it's a little more than that, but it's pretty simple from there. But here, banana pudding. Now this one right here, I'm making for you guys, making for the show. When I say making for you guys, I can't exactly mail it to you, so it's gonna get eat around here. But I'm actually following this one up with another one, and I'm also gonna make some of my apple bread that I made in a much earlier episode for some ladies that I'm dealing with at the chemotherapy section at the hospital. Those guys have done a great job taking care of us as a family, and I want to give a little something back to them. So if you guys are watching this now, I hope you guys enjoyed what I made. Leave a comment below. I appreciate what you guys have done for our family. And if this is what I can do to share back with you guys, it really means a lot. So I want to thank you. So I don't know what else to say right now other than, guys, Bigfoot is real, and this is a really good dessert. I'm gonna let it sit here and soak in and soften up the wafers a little bit before I eat it. But it's gonna be good. So you guys take care. I'll see you in the next one. Oh, hello everyone. Sorry I missed the show. I was out seeing a few campers, but Chef asked me to deliver this dessert. Does this not look amazing? I think I'll do the right thing. You guys take care. But this, however, is mine. Now, part of the reason why you have to keep stirring the whole time you're doing this is because as it heats up,